it's time for the American Way TV Blue Collar Spotlight.
This week we have another very deserving individual for the Blue Collar Spotlight. We have Mr. Troy Cooley from Richton, Mississippi, and he's a retired construction worker.
You know, when the spotlight came in from Troy's son Billy, we knew that we had found a pretty special guy. You know, Troy's story is the same for so many millions of hardworking Americans. You know, Troy was just one of those guys who was able to do whatever he needed to do to feed his family. A jack of all trades. Nothing ever got in front of Troy that he couldn't accomplish. Billy says Troy is no stranger to the meaning of hard work. He was born March 10th, 1937, and grew up just southwest of Clara, Mississippi, surrounded by the DeSoto National Forest. He spent much of his childhood working to help support his family by farming with mules, which was very common in the rural South at that time. And when he wasn't doing that, he spent a lot of time in the logwoods logging with his uncles. And he said that's where Troy developed his love of the outdoors. Whenever he had a little free time, he could run around the woods, and he knew exactly where he wanted to be when he wasn't working. Billy says that in the 50s, his daddy found work in the shipyards along the Gulf Coast in Mississippi as a ship fitter and a welder. And after that, he and his brother went to work as pile drivers, and they traveled all over the place. It led them as far west as Oklahoma and as far south as Miami, Florida. Billy says that in 1962, Mr. Troy found the love of his life, and he married his wife Rose, and they've been by each other's side now for 55 years. Said that same year his dad started working for a tank fabrication company located in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and he was drawing top pay of $1.25 an hour. The following year they started their family, and they now have 4 grown children, 8 grandchildren, and too many great-great-grandchildren to even count. He says Daddy would often work side jobs with an old welding truck that he had purchased just to make ends meet, and one thing was for certain, their family never went without. He says his passion for life has been hunting and fishing and riding his motorcycles. He says his daddy suffered a stroke in 2015 and he stopped riding, but he hasn't stopped loving it. He's currently undergoing radiation treatments for lung cancer. But when asked how he is, he always smiles and just says, "I'm doing fine." He'll always greet you with a smile, and he's a true example of what a man is supposed to be. And Billy, we couldn't agree with you more. Your daddy is exactly what a man's supposed to be. And you know, he's just like so many other millions of hardworking Americans in this country. You know, they're the engine for the country. They did whatever they needed to. They do whatever they need to put food on the table, provide for their family, and not stand with their hands out. So we're glad that you brought Mr. Troy to our attention, and we're glad we got to share his story. And you know, the best part about what we do, we get to say thank you, and we got a lot of great friends that are going to help us do that today. First off, our friends up in Wisconsin, Thorogood Work Boots, they've been building them right here in America for 125 years. Mr. Troy, they're going to get a pair out to you just as quick as they can.
That's right. And our friends at White River Knife and Tool up in Michigan are going to get you out a custom-made knife, and we're sure you can also put that to good use.
And our friends at Grizzly Coolers, they're building them here in America. They're doing it right. They're going to get a cooler out to you, Mr. Troy, and we know you can put it to work.
But best of all, we're going to get you out this custom-made hard hat to hang in your home, and just remember the day that somebody said, "Thank you for getting up and going to work all those years."
So Billy, thanks for sharing your father's story with us, and we're glad that we got to introduce Mr. Troy to America and show them just how he's been making America great all these years, getting up, going to work, and doing his job. So on behalf of all of us here at the American Way and all the great sponsors to the Spotlight, congratulations, Mr. Troy, and well done.